The last month of the September 6-pack. Well, thank you very much, Lethal. I appreciate it, and I hope you are having a good evening. Let's go ahead and let's start things off. Well, that's a strange set of initials there, but that's where we were... Oh no, that's not initials, that's saying start a Speedway Zone. Durr. That was our last file that we were playing this game on. Let's go into file 3, I guess. We can have all kinds of different characters here. We got our Sonic and Tails duo, which is pretty much customary. Plain old Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Mighty the Armadillo is this guy's name, and I forget who this is. Ray the Flying Squirrel or something? They're from the comics, I believe. This game brings in stuff from all over the Sonic the Hedgehog series, and we are going to, well, let's have a look at what these game options are here. We can turn on the time limit and all these other things that I don't understand, so we're actually going to look away from those, and we're going to just start up a nice old Sonic and Tails playthrough. The jabronis from the Archie comics that no one cares about. Oh my god, that's unfortunately quite true, but a little bit rude. Also, wow, I've just realized, oh shit, it was really stupid of me to leave in a yellow background on this white text, because nobody is going to be able to read it. I guess I'll just have to read the chat out to anybody who's watching this on YouTube. As if I wouldn't do that anyway, because let's be real here. I apparently like to just read words as soon as they show up on screen. Score, time, rings, Sonic's face, Green Hill Zone, Act 1. Yes, they are of course starting with Green Hill Zone because I suppose they are contractually obligated. Yes, there is chat on the overlay. I always put it on there. It's just that sometimes I don't know how to do, like, web design things properly. This isn't really web design. I have, like, a sort of semi-transparent black background that I usually use for my 4x3 layouts for that reason, but I have forgotten to put it in for the 16x9 ones because previously I was playing Hollow Knight, which I had a thing for that. I had a very dark wallpaper for that. I think Mega Man 11 had a pretty dark wallpaper. Crash Insane Trilogy. Oh, that was fortunate. I landed on spring after taking a blind jump. Tails is having a bad day here. And, let's see, what else did I play? FF14, right. I probably should have put one up for PSO2, because when I did that, that was a very light background. So yes, that is a very strange thing for me to have never actually done. Anyway, the blue power-up for rings, I believe this changes how many rings you get per pickup in some way, but more importantly, when you get hit, you crap out a lot fewer rings and they are easier to get back. It's a very unusual power-up, all told, but you know what? That's okay. Also, hey, we get the lightning shield from Sonic 3. It was basically the... quite frankly, probably the best thing about Sonic 3. And I feel like I'm going to insult some people by saying that. It's not to say that Sonic 3 is a bad game, although there are some levels that are a little bit, you know, they don't really fit my idea of what Sonic game levels should be, but this electric shield is monstrously good. Oh, the blue rings were from Knuckles Chaotix. Well, you see Eggman Rampa, who I actually know who you are, but I'm using your Twitch username because that's how I do things, apparently. I did not know that because Knuckles Chaotix exists in this weird, sort of semi-legendary place for me that I was aware of what it was back in the old days of, well, Sonic Heroes era probably was the soonest that I really heard about it. And never actually tracked it down, because I think for some reason I was convinced that it never came out. But actually it did. It came out for the 32X, I believe? And by that time, I no longer owned a Sega Genesis, and Sega emulation was, quite frankly, if I recall correctly, absolute dog shit. It is much better nowadays. Oh, also, these are pretty cute. The bonus stages, I like these quite a bit. They are a little bit like, they've got kind of a Sonic CD feel to me, because of course, am thinking of the open-ended Sonic CD Chase the UFO, but instead it's you grab all these blue orbs and you start going faster. You collect the rings to increase your timer. Your goal is to catch up with Dr. Robotnik / Dr. Eggman. I still prefer Dr. Robotnik because I am an old fuck who played the original Sonic games, rather, as a child quite extensively. We were a Sega household until the arrival of the Nintendo 64, after which point we sort of got a little bit open-ended, because after that we ended up picking up the PS2. Oh, Mark just subscribed. Thank you very much. I will read the chat in a second once I am done probably faltering a little bit in this bonus level. Let's be real, this is not something I'm good at. Anyway, my memories of Sonic the Hedgehog. I was a Sega kid, as I said, for, you know, that period. We had a Sega Genesis, and I didn't actually get to play a Super Nintendo until, like, the early 2000s, actually. So, there's a fun little bit for you all. We went kind of multi-console, starting in the 6th gen. Hey, we got it! Wow. Jumping lets you take tire turns. Okay, I should probably, get to know the mechanics of this a little better. Yes, we ended up going very multi-console starting around the PS2 era because I think game consoles just kind of became a little more affordable, and also my brother, came of age around that time. He started getting an actual job so we could afford that stuff. Anyway, yeah, 32X emulation sucked, as Ansem is pointing out correctly. Ah, yes, here's some blue spheres for us. Nice little retro classic, basically. And Mark, of course, throwing in the snooping as usual. Yes, good old, I do appreciate a good Pingus meme still. Mentally speaking, I'm like 10 years old. I don't know how anyone puts up with me sometimes. So, okay, I should probably be leaving these until the end in order to maximize my ring gathering, because, of course, these end once you get all of the blue spheres, and if you leave rings on the board, that is no good, as Sonic the Hedgehog himself is known to say. I believe what you get for getting all the rings is a continue, correct? You can tell it's been a while since I've touched these games. Although I've, genuinely loved Sonic for a very long time, because of course it was, well, a big part of my life. Childhood, especially. Thanks. Ooh, seeing a multiple of 12 and knowing how this is laid out in a lot of blocks of 12 makes me think that I screwed up already. And indeed, it looks like we did, but that's okay. If it's just a continue, I think we're fine. Oh, they repeat a snooping as usual in the Sonic Boom cartoon. Oh. The Sonic Boom cartoon is a very strange thing, is all I can say. Alright, so not unlike Sonic 3, we get a boss of some description at every level in this game, which is a little heavy, in my opinion, in terms of, making you fight bosses. And also, yes, there's the blue rings in action. Hey, wow, we got a 1-up back. Wow. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I don't remember this thing at all. It's definitely not a throwback boss, that's for sure. We get a couple of bosses that are a little throwbacky, but not that many. Oh yeah, when I talk about the Sonic Boom cartoon being very strange, I don't mean that it's bad. It is, as Mark put it, delightful. It just seems like one of those things like you would not expect it to shake out that way. Like the amount of self-awareness involved, it's very good for that reason though. I adore it. Despite not really watching it a whole lot. And this level is using, as you can tell, a mechanic not from the original Green Hill Zone, but I do not remember where. There's also some water in later parts of this that make it resemble a bit of Angel Island Zone. This game is just such a love letter to the whole classic franchise. And yeah. And there's even bottomless pits. Hey, guess who forgot? Alright, don't fall in the pit again. Although now that I've mentioned that, I think it's going to end up happening anyway. But let's try taking a bit of a high road here. That's, speed shoe? Yeah. Ah, the speed shoe. You always feel like this is supposed to be such a big deal in a Sonic game, but it never really feels quite like it's gonna help you. Ow! Damn spike logs. Oh, this is something cool. Not just the super flaming death dash. That's always... I do love me some air dashing, but more importantly, you can go burn the spike log. That'll teach it. For being a spike log. I don't know. I don't know what it'll teach it, but it'll sure teach it. Unfortunately, no real way to jump back down through that bridge other than just go around and don't hit the spring. That water shield would probably have been nice. And by water shield, I guess I mean bubble shield, but the concept is similar enough. It's probably technically made of water. So I guess we'd have to be either someone else, or we would have to actually have properly grabbed that handle. Any new games planned for the stream? Good question. I'm not 100% sure just yet, because I don't know what's going to happen after I finish Earthbound, although I've got a couple of ideas in mind for longer titles. Shorter stuff, well, after this, I mean, there's a bunch of things I could play. I've got a lot of more reasonable length platformers. Oh, here comes a big old egg mech. This is a neat boss, because, like, wow, this is not what you'd expect out of this at all. Green Hill Zone, and they're throwing something that looks a little bit dangerous at you. Wow. Unfortunately, it's not the thing from Palm Tree Panic, so getting behind it is not a free win. We're gonna have to get a little closer here, and in order to get it to throw out its large nasty arm thing here. I'm not gonna say that it looks, you know, a certain way, but it does. Oh, that was very poorly done, but we managed to win the fight, so that's good enough. We'll scroll through things that I haven't started that, you know, or go to my Steam library. Well, fair enough. I know that Hypnospace Outlaw was one that you floated a while ago, and I'm probably going to play that off stream first for reasons of getting footage together for something in the future. Although I don't know when that'll be, so maybe I could just do that after this. Yeah, you've definitely mentioned Hypnospace Outlaw, and I just recently rewatched some content related to that from one of my favorite streamers, so it's very much on my mind at the moment. What a good game. Anyway, here we are in the Chemical Plant Zone, an old classic from Sonic 2. Remembered for being one of the fastest levels in the game, and of course, drowning to death in purple stuff. Good old Mega Mac. Definitely not a great time to... Folks, if you go swimming and the water is purple, you should get out of there. I'm sure that that's not necessarily advice that anybody really needs, but also... I mean... Am I wrong? Speaking of advice that people don't need, don't jump into the blue orbs. Unfortunately, I may not be able to take my own advice about the Mega Mac here because I don't remember where we can get out of this. I guess be warned for impending drowning music because your air supply here is not great. I will give some credit, though, because that drowning music is not nearly so sharp to put it away. Oh, good. I've realized that they've got the blue sphere, the Sonic 1 blue spheres fish in 3D here, so this really is looking a little bit more vaporwave than usual for a Sonic the Hedgehog title. Usually that was more of an Echo the Dolphin thing, right? Yikes! We're, Oh, crud. Missed that. And yes, I think that a big part of why these fish are in 3D, by the way, in this, and the fact that they are, you'll notice, very much square facets, is that my understanding of Sonic Mania is that it is meant to imitate a not released Sonic game for the Sega Saturn, and we died. Well, we didn't die, but we fell out of the level. Oh no. Rip. Oh no, we didn't get the Chaos Emerald. I'm bad at these anyway, so that'll happen a lot. And the... Moon found the hole. Thanks, Lethal. Thanks, Satan. Oh, Wreck-It Ralph. A movie I've never seen. On the other hand, though, you know... It's Disney, so at least I didn't give them my money. Anyway, yes, the fish are very, very heavy on the square polygons as opposed to the triangles of most 3D things because the Sega Saturn, among the many interesting things about the internals of the Sega Saturn is that it processed 3D as four-sided figures as opposed to triangles. And you can understand why this would cause quite a few problems. Granted, the Sega Saturn was just full of so many issues for Sega, and that pretty much did kill the company, basically. Or, well, Okay, saying kill the company is strong, but it definitely killed them as a console manufacturer. Although, Bernie Stolar, I think, who was a guy from Sega US, really wanted the company to get out of the console market anyway for a very long time. And he eventually got his wish once the Dreamcast failed on its butt. Amazing, I said butt instead of ass. I'm turning into one of those people. Wait. Just say every other horrible word, but for some reason, one of them gets softened for no good reason. Oh well. Yes, the Sega Saturn had a troubled history, to say the least. And it was lacking quite a few key titles. Among them, a regular Sonic platformer. And I'm not saying that that would have saved the Saturn. God, no, probably not. It just would have led to there being a game that a lot of people hadn't played, and there being more fodder for those compilations in the GameCube era going forwards. And also, you know, there'd still be the problems regarding emulation today, because that's just down to very weird internals. But on the other hand, I think that it would have had a positive net effect on the... This is a strange boss, I think. Is this one that's similar to another boss? Okay, I'm getting vibes of the thing from Metropolis Zone. A little bit from Flying Battery 2. I guess, but maybe that's only just because of the body structure. It looks like it should be shooting stuff out of the top. Oh, your pizza is here. Well, you enjoy that pizza, Mark. Pizza time! Wait. Wrong game. I've actually never played any of the Turtles games. I should play one of the Ninja Turtles games at some point. Probably Turtles 4. That seems to be the one that people like the most. And here we go. We get some new mechanics for this level. We are getting the this thing where we can inject the chemicals with various other chemicals to make them bouncier. And they make the wacky workbench weird bounce thing sounds too, which is very unusual, but I will not complain too much. Don't worry, it's not like Acid Man in Mega Man 11, where it's like, oh, these eventually turn lethal. I actually don't think that's a thing in this level, but admittedly, it has been some time, and we've got this really cool double helix thing going on. This level, I do love this level, and it has a really great boss, too, but we're going to see that when we get there. Overall, probably one of my favorites in the entire... I feel like such a rube being like, oh yeah, Chemical Plant is my favorite in any Sonic game. Like, wow. Good fucking... Speaking of good fucking work, Tails. That sound from Wacky Workbench is so good. I love Sonic CD. Oh, man, I love Sonic CD. But I played Sonic CD all the way back when I first got Twitch affiliates. So, goodness knows that if I ever do that again, I'll probably have to, like, become a speedrunner or something. Or start opening up the possibility of repeats, at which point my channel will just turn into me playing Earthbound every Monday and no other RPGs ever, and all of you will get super pissed. Because how many times can one person play one game? And the answer to that question is yes. Oh, this whole level is just structured so neat. It's... Oh, I'm so glad. I want... God, Sega, give Christian Whitehead frankly, just give Christian Whitehead control of the whole Sonic franchise, but also give the man space, him and his team, give him the word to make Sonic Mania 2. I want it, I need it. My life will probably still be complete without it, actually, but it would feel really good, you know? I'd be quite happy with it. Alright, now jump that. And that is how you get a perfect, my friends. And everybody else. As we get that coin, but it's gold. I don't remember what those do. I'm gonna hope it's something good. Oh, here we go! It's boss time! Unfortunately, I don't know that I remember the controls, but... folks, that's right! We get to play some Mean Bean Machine! Or rather, Puyo Puyo, but, I mean... It's Sonic, therefore it is Mean Bean Machine by default. But I gotta admit that remembering this was a big reason why I decided to play this game today, is because somebody mentioned Mean Bean Machine, and I just immediately had a big throwback to the original version of this theme, which they did kind of ease this one up a little bit, and I really wish they hadn't, but on the original Sega Genesis, the music for this is the Versus theme from Mean Bean Machine, and on Sega Genesis, it just is. It is ridiculously energetic and blistering, and a great time in general. I mean, I like this too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like, oh, this music's not good. Ugh. Everything about this game kind of rules, but honestly, if you haven't heard the Sega Genesis version of this, you should definitely track it down, because I assure you, you will not be disappointed. Unlike me, who is a little disappointed by the lack of 2 blue blobbies here. This isn't a particularly hard round of Mean Bean Machine either, as you can tell. I am giving Eggman a bit of a runaround here. Oh, Jesus, never mind. Well, that's a big reset. That is, I have to do some work to get through that. Oh, man. He's putting up a fight. I appreciate it. Robotnik heard me talking shit, apparently, so... here we go. Oh, wow, I goofed up pretty bad there. I actually stand a chance of losing this now because I fucked up so badly there. Oh, never mind. He did it to himself. Rip Robotnik. And there we go. That is Chemical Plant done and dusted. Oh, I love Chemical Plant in this game so much. Oh, it's so good. I may have to actually play Encore mode just to re-experience. There's so much of this game that rules. Oh, we get Studiopolis. This is the first original zone out of 3 for Sonic Mania. And this one is completely original and completely fantastic. Just these colors are, like, I guess they're a little gross, but they kind of fit actually with the 90s feel of it. They're just a little bit on the not right side. All the TVs, the video stuff. Oh, I love this a lot. This is a cool aesthetic. And on the other hand, I really suck at getting over this spring, apparently. And we've got these sort of, like, microphone bagworm enemies. I remember when I heard this music for the first time, by the way, too. Back when, you know, back long before this game came out and when Ty Lopez was letting out a couple of preview tracks in advance of the game. And I cannot... oh, by the way, yes, the sign says eggnog in the background. That's fantastic. That is hilarious. I love it. I remember being so hype about this game, and honestly, it is one of the very few games that I think has actually lived up to that level of hype. Although, then again, I do try to avoid getting too hyped up about games nowadays, because goodness knows, I will be let down. But if I, you know, I allow myself sometimes to have very high expectations. Hello, Retro Fanatic. You haven't played this game before, but you do own it. I recommend giving it a shot when you can work it into your routine of games to play, because it is fantastic. As I have made quite clear already, as I'm just, like, super energetic tonight. Had the biggest, dumbest grin on my face. And... oh, look at me screwing up something. Oh, look at that, too. Oh, that's so good. I love it. Do you think so? Oh, unless you mean on the layout. On the layout, well... digits on the left. I don't believe so, actually. It just always kind of looks like that. There's not a ton of, like, HUD customization you can do, but that's usually the norm, I guess, with games. Very few things are going to give you, like, FF14 levels of HUD customization. And that's kind of sad, because I think that's something that more game devs should do, where they let you do stuff with the way the heads-up display and all the interface and stuff looks. It would improve the experiences for a lot of people in a lot of games just in general. Even if it's something as small as, like, it looks a little weird with those numbers and the shadows and things. Because, you know, that's an entirely fair, hey, this is a bit of a, you know, not my thing type of thing, right? If I talk like that, nobody's gonna understand anything I say, but... oh, we got some stuff going on here. Oh, is this the... oh, they're coming in from the right side of the screen. Yikes. I actually don't remember how to deal with this. Apparently, it's not ram into the missiles head-on. That... I know that sounds like something that should be common sense, but you'd be surprised. Anyone who's ever played a video game... Oh, it's the blue ones. Okay, well, I guess we'll see those when we get there. Alright, yeah. I see the little chunk here. Get out of the way. Tails. Dang it, Tails. You go ahead and you do your thing. Well, right now it's not Robotnik. We got the old classic. Well, really, they kind of look like the robot clone that Knuckles always had to fight in Sonic 3. I don't remember if these dudes have, like, a name or anything, but yeah, usually we're gonna be fighting Robotnik. Actually, do we fight, They do. Okay, well, I admit that I am not a Sonic canon expert. It sometimes is kind of a wonder that I managed to remember the name of anybody at all here. And way to go, Tails! Wow, putting in the work. Alright, so now we've got... I think we're gonna get like a second phase here, or is Blue Man Group heavy launching, you think? That makes sense. If that or Blue Ski, yeah, we're gonna just get the same thing as usual. Give it the old headbutt. Oh! That was a close call. I think I almost lost there, but we managed to get away with it. Ooh, that's not a fight I was used to. Heavy Shinobi, Heavy Rider, Heavy Magician, and Heavy Emperor. Okay. Heavy Shinobi is the guy we fight in the, in Press Garden, right? I believe so, if I'm recalling how that fight goes. Heavy Magician is in Mirage Saloon. That would be a very strange crossover, that's for sure. Eggman and Danganronpa. I don't really pay that much. I don't really overthink folks' usernames at that level, right? Oh, me. I mean, then again, the cast of those games is strange enough. I haven't played any of the Danganronpa games in a very long time. Actually, fun fact, way back when, I bought a PS Vita to play Danganronpa, and then I ended up hitting a weird point where I was like, actually, this isn't really, you know, how I feel about a lot of this stuff. I wasn't feeling it, and then unfortunately, I sold off my PS Vita. I should not have done that, because there's a lot more to like about the PS Vita that I just didn't really know off the top of my head, and honestly still don't 100% know too well. PS Vita is like a super weak point for me in terms of video game consoles. In terms of like the super mainstream ones, I feel like that and the Master System are probably the ones that I'd be like, the most about. But Master System does have the original Phantasy Star, which is a very good game that I think a lot of people just kind of, I feel like the original Phantasy Star falls by the wayside quite heavily for a lot of people, mostly because the Master System had a pretty terrible time. I wanted that electric shield, damn it. The original Phantasy Star, that's not what I meant to say. I meant to say the Master System had a enormously awful time in the States for a wide variety of reasons, quite a few of which can readily be blamed on Nintendo, I feel, just because of the whole exclusivity deals and all that stuff. Maybe I'm just in a mindset lately of not feeling very positively about Nintendo on the more company end of things, because, I mean, keep in mind, we're also dealing with the fact that at the end of this month, the the Mario 3D All-Stars stuff is no longer going to be available because Nintendo just doesn't like money, apparently. That and Fire Emblem 1 is going away on the Switch. I remembered to purchase that recently when I bought a, after I bought another year of Switch Online, because apparently I don't despise Nintendo to such a point that I'm not going to use their online features. I enjoy Pokemon too much for that. Anyway. Yeah, so the Master System suffered very badly here in America, but it was pretty popular over in England. It was enormously popular, and still is, enormously popular in Brazil. In fact, I believe that units that play the old Master System games are still being manufactured in Brazil to this day. So, yeah, there's your interesting Master System fact for the day. But, frankly, offhand, I really only know the, I know Phantasy Star 1, and I know, like, a couple of the Mortal Kombat ports for the Master System, and those Mortal Kombat ports, oof. Oh my god. Those are not great. Well, basically they're the Game Gear versions, obviously, because the Game Gear is extremely similar, if not legitimately identical to the Master System on the inside. And the... Okay, so here comes some lightning bolts that we have to dodge. Anyway, the Game Gear ports of Mortal Kombat are not particularly great. They look like, and in fact, you would think they'd be basically identical to the Game Boy ports, but with color. But they suck, really. They're not very fun to play. Which, I mean, that's okay. There's enough good versions of Mortal Kombat 1 through 3 out there that who needs them, but yeah, my Master System knowledge is very small, needless to say. But I think that Phantasy Star, in particular, is such a big deal that I should really give it more of a look. And yeah, that boss was very simple. We didn't get a whole lot of the lightning bolts, and we got enough of the sunlight. Oh yeah, absolutely. Phantasy Star 4 is super fun, and Phantasy Star 2 is really good too. Phantasy Star 1 and 2 are games that I would say, you know, the gameplay is pretty solid, but the big win there is in terms of story. And in the very early days of console RPGs, that is no small thing. I would say that, like, out of the early CRPG franchises that people know, Phantasy Star 1 is probably, in some regards, the most important in some... But, like, people kind of let it fall by the wayside. Yeah, Phantasy Star 2 is flawed, needless to say, but it definitely... It has a worthy place in history for a wide variety of reasons. Although, on the other hand, I do have to say that some of those reasons can be a little bit of its own undoing. Because, yeah, I mean, sure, it's kind of, like, crazy innovative to have May die. Oh, spoiler alert, by the way. But, on the other hand, you know, I do gotta ask a few questions in, you know, from the position of 2011 about it being May that gets killed. But anyway, yeah, Phantasy Star 3 is a not great game. That is 100% true. It was, quite frankly, Phantasy Star 3 was far too ambitious. Goodness gracious, I do not know how words work, apparently. For its era. And they put a little bit too much into that and too little into making it a good game. I missed the special stage. Aw, damn it. Oh, right, it was one of the ones from the pylons, right? Pylon. lamppost. Yeah, I'm going to be honest that I am not going to be going for 100% in this game. At least not at this juncture, because I am terrible at the various special stages. Like, I can kind of do Sonic 3 blue spheres and not make a complete ass out of myself, just like 90% of one. But good God, the 3D ones are just like there's. I've done pretty badly at a couple of games on here, but I think that would be one of the ones where I would be like the most shameful if I was just doing just those. If we get it, then cool, but if not, I am not going to be too heartbroken over it. That's true. I do have, and because I do have the Sega Genesis Classics collection, I think I have all of those games that have been released on Steam, at least officially. I believe there have been some other games that have been released unofficially through ROMs, and God knows hacking that. Well, okay, I feel like saying hack when it's, you know, not a ROM is a little strange, but modifying the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis Classics collection on Steam is not a hard thing to do. So, whatever is not on there officially could be added unofficially very easily, is what I'm trying to say. But yes, that is a thing that I will probably play the Sega Genesis Sonic games at some point. And if so, I may very well just use the Steam edition just for the ease of the save states and everything, so I can show stuff like that. Yeah, a lot of the music for, well, special states, not to be confused with special stages, i.e. invincibility and speed shoes, they are completely new themes. And I kind of goofed that up. Yeah, that is, like, one thing that was not kept. Which, I mean, on the other hand, it's alright. I don't mind the themes here, and, Ty Lopez is a very good composer for this type of music. Honestly, one of the best in the biz right now, but it does kind of take away a little bit of that nostalgia hit from the invincibility. I think that because of the way a lot of this works, the new theme for the speed shoes was probably a bit of a necessity, though. Much like it would have been in, what's it called? I forgot already. Sonic CD, yes. Don't get crushed by that thing going down. Buck. Run through the little rat. And this is not where I'm going. I remember that the boss here is, like, in a junk pile. But I don't actually... Wow, this is getting very open-ended, and it's actually kind of confusing me. Whoa! Fuck! Wow, I'm real bad at this part. Everybody avert your eyes. Or keep looking, I guess. That's fine, too. And we'll take a death. Where are we last lampposted? Over here. Okay. That works. I like this as a little stage design contrivance. I'm going to try going to the left this time, which is going to require a bit of care. Oh, am I not? Is there like nothing to the left? Well, dang. It's just like being on YouTube. Wait, what? And again, if you're looking for political videos in any sort of direction on YouTube, you are wrong! Don't bother! It's a shithole! Unfortunately, I'm probably the only person in here who, like, pays that kind of attention to that sort of thing, so, meh. It's a weird thing to bring up. Where? Okay, so, let's get on this thing. Don't drop down. That seems to just be a death sentence. Alright, here we go. Okay, I was wrong about this being a... Oh no, here we go. We get the boss in the garbage disposal here. Let's do the fork in the garbage disposal, right? That's a really old thing that was in a video. I don't think anybody even knows what the hell I'm talking about that, which is probably for the better. So this boss, you can tell, is a little bit unconventional because instead of... because we got kind of a time limit here, and this thing is just summoning the little spinny things. You only know the vine. Was fork in the garbage disposal a vine? I don't know vines that well. I'm forgetful. Anyway, that boss was easy after a bit of waiting. It did show up in a vine? Okay, so close enough. Anyway, we are out of the garbage disposal. That's enough Star Wars for us for one day. Because otherwise we may have to come to the prequels, and nobody wants to think about the prequels. I don't even think George Lucas wants to think about the prequels. Ooh, I don't remember a lot of this level, so this might be a bit of an interesting one, to say the least. However, I do remember the boss, and the boss here is a real anus. Just an entire disembodied hole in the butt. Oh, is this gonna be a timing thing? Alright. Oh shit, we've got the wacky workbench wires. Oh my god. Ah! Really? What a jerk. Oh. I didn't realize that those things hurt you with that. That, like, disempower. Ooh, boy. That definitely freaked me out a little bit here. Oh, we've got flying fortress chickens. Yeah, cock joke, etc. Oh, is it thunderstorm? Oh, this is like all kinds of not a good place to be in real life. Like we're just out here on this on this airship with exposed wires in a thunderstorm. Come down here, Hook. There we go. Oh, phew. That didn't kill me. I was worried for a second. Oh, we're getting wind now, too? Oh, ho, ho. Oh, they are pulling out everything they can here. I would be lying if I said I wasn't at least a little bit afraid of this. This is well over the top. Oh! Yeah, that's definitely below the belt then, I guess. Okay, so for a second I was wondering if these would like stack together and like just get me a massive jump, but no. Alright, we got chickens. We got one on a little double helicopter there. Up we go. God, I feel like I'm taking forever to do this level, by the way. Which is not great because the boss of this level is not very fast. It's a bit of a long one. And definitely a little bit on the non-traditional side. This game definitely is one that treats you like you've played these games before. And I mean, rightly so and all that, but also, wow! When we get to this boss, fuck, dude. Yikes. Okay, so we gotta get in this little mesh tunnel here. Alright, we're back inside. Let's take the hook. Hook, spider. Hook and spider are the same word now, don't worry. Don't worry about it. It makes as much sense as regular English. Your game just crashed. Oh, that sucks. Welcome to the stream, Bronco, nonetheless. Bronco was just streaming Heart Gold, correct? I'm doing pretty alright. Yes, I believe Bronco was streaming some Pokemon Heart Gold earlier. Rando Heart Gold. Well, I guess you doing like a Nuzlocke or anything like that, just to satisfy Retro's game crash, then OBS crashed. Ouch. I usually don't have a whole lot of crashing with OBS. At least not with OBS Studio. I haven't used any other offshoot in a while. Like, hopefully Streamlabs OBS is at least a stable product now. I know people have told me, but I don't remember because I use OBS Studio. Because my experiences with Streamlabs OBS were, at the time, quite bad. Oh, that was really stupid of me to hang around in front of the egg launcher. Alright, well there we go. We get a generic blue bubble shield here. They do exist. Oh, are you still having like weird shit go on with your Emerald run there? Retro, that is so weird. I don't really know what to say about that, other than you have done something that is completely inexplicable now. At least to me. And this is getting to be a bit of a pain in the ass. I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer ZX, yes. Or ZX, it would be pronounced in certain ones, but ZX does not sound right to me. I think I explained this probably back during my first stream of Red Rando, that ZX doesn't sound like it makes any sense, and okay, I thought we were stuck in a vertical loop. Because those are a thing in Sonic games, although I don't think there's any vertical loops in this game. Oh god, there was a spike ball there. Whoops. Yeah, ZX is a fork of the original Universal Pokemon Randomizer because the guy who developed that stopped developing it, basically. So this fight is a very interesting one because it is so indirect. And also because you can fuck yourself really easily here. So basically, yeah, you try to knock Egg Spider here into the spikes. I don't know if this boss is called Egg Spider. Might be. That's just sort of the general nomenclature of a lot of these things. And you can use those spinny things to, yeah. There are quite a few bosses in this game, Bronco. I don't know if you've played this before. That are not from the original Sonic games. They are completely new creations or they are updated versions of existing bosses from the original Sonic games that were made by Christian Whitehead and his team for this game, and quite a few of them are fucking nasty as fuck, frankly. Like, this one is, like, the raddest bastardest. Actually, that's not true. There is a boss that is much harsher than the Egg Spider. Especially if we got a bit of a toss-off like that. Also, did I say that was Bronco? That was Retro, pardon me, yeah. Okay, so yes, pardon me. Retro, there are some new bosses in this game that are not from the original Sonic games. You probably already noticed that there was some, OG content. Here we go. Here's a stage that is, again, 100% original generations. The Press Garden stage. This is going to be our ice level sooner or later. But aside from that, it has this fantastic printing press theme. And really nice original music. Some cool gimmicks going on. And some stuff that's just ripped off from other previous Sonic games. Unfortunately, I do not believe that is a thing. That would be required to be something that they'd have to code into the randomizer themselves. And as somebody who does not understand the thing for generating Pokemon in the 3rd gen games, I would not be able to set that up myself either. So basically, heck is what I have to say to that. Ow. It looks like Labyrinth Zone? A little bit. Yeah, it's got a lot of those brick textures that are very much pulled from the Labyrinth Zone. Yes. Actually, I have many times before, and this may actually be something that I pieced together, expressed a desire to put together a Pokemon fan game of some description. Although, of course, I have to be a little bit careful about releasing something like that, because we all know how Nintendo can be about fan stuff like that, and of course, with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl on their way later this year, they would be even more inclined than usual to bust my chops if I was too public about putting that out. I assume that Nintendo doesn't really have the time or the wherewithal to be scanning through random VODs for people saying, I would like to do that. And yeah, we got some Yoku blocks here, basically. The T is the letter we were looking for. You watched the analysis. It's like analysis. The last time I did a Pokemon analysis thing was Uranium, which I did like half of a year ago or so. Fuck, I don't remember when I did it last year, but I know that I did it last year, and that video... Oh, that was a... Honestly, that's like kind of my crowning achievement in some ways. Yeah, Diamond and Pearl are definitely not super fast games. Hopefully Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond make that a lot better. Why do I run past the special stages? I usually just miss them and I go really fast, and a lot of the time anyway. And like I said, it's not at the moment a major concern of mine to do that. Perhaps in a future playthrough, and I don't know how to get up to that one up. Damn. I think the special stages are only the Sonic 3 Blue Spheres, right? They're not going to give me, like, the Gumball Machine or anything. Or even the slot machine. Right? Now I gotta find that little lotus-shaped lamp. And yes, to answer Bronco's question, I did the Pokemon Uranium video, I believe back in the summer. It was 2 videos over, 2 of my monthly upload slots, because honestly, I just did not have it finished the first time around, and you can tell that taken together, those 2 are longer than that behemoth of a Lemmings, frankly, documentary. That I think at that point, an hour is more than what could be considered feature length, right? Like, I think technically it's considered a short film until you breach 45 minutes, and then it can be considered a full-length film. So yeah, that was a long one, but the Uranium Double was even longer, and so it was probably a good idea, especially at the time, that I did that as 2 separate ones, although God knows I'm going to be doing a lot of gigantic videos in my future. Not specifically because, like, my chart of things that I want to make is necessarily full of that size stuff, but just because I know that I don't know how to shut up sometimes. Hey, we got another 1-up. Very nice. Yeah, so there definitely will be more long content. There will be more Pokemon content. There probably will be a lot more long Pokemon content, in fact, in the future. There are other games out there that I do want to talk about in terms of Pokemon, and I missed out on the chance. I mentioned this, like, sort of in the text at the beginning of the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl video, that originally I was going to do a video that was just sort of a little bit free association where I talked about the late 90s Pokemania as it existed in the United States and, you know, maybe a little bit in a couple of other places. And I fucked up on that one. I somehow managed to turn my camera off. Oh, we're not getting to that bonus stage. That one, I even tried to stop for that, and the game was just like, momentum exists. Yes, there are quite a few Pokemon fan games out there. Somebody I know, one of Iron Fury's friends, in fact, has been doing a game called Pokemon Xenoverse on his YouTube channel. And that one, well, that just sounds like it could be pretty fantastic. And there's Pokemon Sage is one that was pitched around to a couple of people, and that has, like, this whole... Oh, goodness. This actually is a vertical loop. I think... I don't know how to get out of this now. Fuck. It's been so long since I've played this. Oh, damn it. We were almost there. I almost had that. Yes, Pokemon Sage is one that I've heard a lot about, and that looks, like, really good. It has a very heavily Mesoamerican design theme to its Pokemon. Like, it has a unity of... It has a unity of aesthetic that... and design inspiration that is unusually strong for a Pokemon game, basically, is what I want to... Oh, fuck me. I am actually... The blue-gray turnstile thing, I keep missing seeing it then. Alright, so we're going to try and, like, just do a quick walk up here, basically. Fudge. And then, of course, there's the other Pokemon fan games that are, like, difficulty-oriented. We may be timing out here, by the way. I'm, like, having a bit of an issue getting onto this. As, you know, it should be quite obvious. Like, look at that. Land next to that loop on the right. Fuck! I almost had it, but I fell through the... the banister thing here. Shit. Yeah, I can't land on that. That's in the background. I need to stay instead of hopping off. Okay, that's... Well, then what did I screw up last time? How'd I get trapped in that? That's weird. All right, let's do some blue spheres, I guess. So yes, if I want to spend a lot of time talking about Pokemon fan games, the options are quite large. And that is due to a wide variety of reasons. First of all, I kind of feel like making Pokemon hacks is pretty easy among hacking Game Boy Advance stuff. But then again, there's also a ton of tools out there, so it really helps in that regard. And furthermore, there is also Pokemon Essentials, which is a whole toolkit of stuff for RPG Maker. Which, even though Nintendo tried to put the kibosh on that, that is still a thing that exists. It is still findable, there is still documentation for it. So I think we can ride the snake here. There's another set of 4 that has another ring in it. I just don't know where it is offhand. Oh, I'm gonna get hella lost in this stage. Okay, so this is the place where we were earlier. Does this just lead me back to... Yeah, that just loops me. Oh boy, I'm super bad at these. Actually, now that I'm here, I can at least... Oh no, this is the wrong section, right? Although saying that... Actually, are there even, like, different areas of this at all? Or do the bumpers just bounce me up to the other half of the loop? Because, of course, the Sonic 3 special stages are all spherical. Or at least spheroidical. They wrap, is what I'm trying to say. And oh, this is so disorienting. I'd like to apologize to anybody who came here like, oh, hey, you might be good at a video game. No. We are not here to be good at video games. Life's too short for that. It is, however, just long enough to bounce back and forth between a couple of star orbs for a bit. Oh, there we go. I see him. Very nice. We got a perfect. And we got another gold coin. I don't remember what these are for. I really do not remember what they're for. And we have a minute to deal with this boss. That might be a little bit on the not great side. I may have to redo this whole level because I fucked that whole section up so badly. But that's okay. I do love this area. Well, the Chaos Emeralds come from the classic special stages, you know, classic special stages. The ones from the big rings, rather. Alright. Ow. Okay, so... Wait a second. Can I even hit this thing while... Yes, I can hit it during my iframes. Okay. There we go. That was not a hard boss, especially because I could pierce through that with invincibility frames. But my god, I fucked that stage up proper. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, oh, my goodness. I'm bad at video games. Who would have guessed? Colonel. Oh, this music is so fantastic, though. I actually think, if I recall correctly, Press Garden Act 2 is more straightforward. But you can also see it, this is where we start turning into the ice level here. We got the freeze things. I don't know if you've ever seen when Knuckles gets frozen by those, which is one of the downsides of me playing just a standard Sonic Tails playthrough, is that you don't get to see that. Because the expression that Knuckles makes when he gets frozen is fantastic. Not that these aren't, but... Yeah, David Hayter has been very good, by the way, about, like, doing, like, all of the Solid Snake memes, and it's kind of adorable. In some regards, for me, David Hayter is always going to be the voice of Snake. I know that the other guy, Kiefer Sutherland, I think it's Sunderland is the last name there, but I might be wrong about that, is, like, technically a better voice actor and is an established actor, which is probably why Kojima was like, I gotta have this man for my game, because Kojima is way into film and stuff. But David Hayter just brings a very specific something to that Snake voice. It's probably the fact that he's mostly just, like, putting a tiny bit of growl into his voice and otherwise mostly just sounds like David Hayter. I've heard him talk, and it's pretty similar. Okay, Sutherland, not Sunderland. Okay. Where did I get Sunderland from, then? I must be, like, very weird. And I screwed that up really badly, too, speaking of very weird. Sunderland is a Silent Hill 2 character. Well, okay, there you go. I admit that I'm not the most well-versed in Silent Hill, but certainly I have an appreciation for it, especially when it gets really weird. And I'm not talking about weird, like, the kind of weird that the one dude on that Silent Hill wiki, that's not quite the same, although that is hilarious in hindsight. I'm kind of curious if anybody knows what I'm talking about. I feel like Mark might know if anybody, maybe Eggman Rampa, but definitely Mark, yeah, unfortunately. It's terrible, but I have a warped enough sense of humor to be like, oh my god, that is very, very funny. Maybe I'm just kind of a problem in general. Oh, we gotta clear this out the regular way first. Come on, Sonic. Ball up harder or something, I don't know. And those woodpeckers, I think, will just, like, toss out bombs if you keep hitting them. Alright, don't crack yet. I think we need to... Okay. No, this is still a way back. It's like the whole thing. Ooh, boy. This is weird. I don't remember this part of the level, as you can tell. Oh, am I gonna have to go into the ice block? Oh, yeah, I think I do. Okay. So that's a little less stupid than I thought. I mean, it is not exactly normal Sonic logic, that's for sure, but okay. Video games, everybody. Alright, well, let's see if we can redeem ourselves from that last horrible performance. I have a feeling that the answer to that is going to be no, and that threw me off. I was not expecting that to auto-expire. I just completely fucked that up because I pressed the wrong button. Good work, me. Again, sometimes it would be great to have input displays on screen, just that way I can be like, hey, look at me being bad at video games. I hit down instead of right. And in fact, right might not have been the right way to go, but it would have turned me at least. And on the other hand, as I said, not my greatest concern getting 100% in this game. I am more interested in bare minimum at... Aw, you jerk. That thing must have started falling as soon as I touched it. Oh, wow, that's a... Tails, get away from there, you doofus. You're gonna get blown up even more, and I'm gonna keep laughing at you. Alright, here we go. It's boss time. We get to face off against... As I said before, I think this dude is called Heavy Shinobi. He's throwing those starfish from Sonic 2. Acerons, I think they're called. And I remember that because there's a weapon in Phantasy Star Online called the Aceron Belt. Yeah, unfortunately, there was nothing I could do about that, Retro. That was legitimately out of my hands. Good job, Tails. Oh. Hang on a second. Oh, no, I think it's fine. Actually, yeah, I'm having a bit of a minor issue here with my audio. On my end, not on the end that the streamer can hear. As I said, not on the end that the streamer can hear, just my end. So I think that the those Chaos Emeralds that Eggman is using are called the Time Stones or something. Anyway, yeah, let me move my mic out the way and mute it for a moment while I fix this. Okay, well, that's all it took. All right, let's go. So, basically, the problem that I just had there is that because I am using the headphone out on my speakers, the Logitech set that I bought, good God, over 5 years ago, and they're still quite good. And they have a pretty nice subwoofer, you know, for being like less than $150, it's a pretty solid bit of computer audio. And that said, I live in a house with other people, so I don't usually use the actual speakers so much as the headphone out. And I definitely don't do much with the subwoofer as much as I would love to have that subwoofer all the way up and, you know, listen to my music with bass and all that. But I'm having a bit of an issue with the headphone jack on them, and it so I'm using headphones obviously to listen to, well, to listen to most of the audio in my day-to-day life, as well as listening to audio while I stream, so that way you guys don't get any feedback from that. And that, so I moved slightly, basically, and the plug on my headphones came a little bit out of alignment, and so I had to take a moment to fix that. That is very, very unfortunate, and that's the only thing that's wrong with them after all this time. I bought these back when I was still talking to certain people that I don't bring up on the stream very much. We'll put it that way. Z2300, I believe that's what mine is as well. It's a Z something. I'd have to actually go look it back up. I think I still have the, I probably might still have the Amazon link in my favorites somewhere, oddly enough. Anyway, yes, anything to repair that jack is not really on my priorities list at the moment, though. As much as it's a really irritating thing, at the moment, I much sooner need a new chair. And I'm looking into this capture card that a friend told me about that is supposed to be very good, 60 FPS capture, no delay, or marginal delay at best, worst. And it captures pretty much everything, so that is something that I would like to look forward to. But I do have a stopgap for hardware capture that I will probably be pulling that out. The admittedly very outdated Elgato game capture USB version that I think I bought back when I was still in college. Did the subwoofer have a silver front? No, the front of the subwoofer is all black. So it might be a different, as I say, it's a Z something or other. I don't remember the exact number because apparently I'm just bad at that. Part numbers. Admittedly, part numbers in general are not necessarily the most fantastically memorable things in the world. So, yeah. Another color or a different model. Like I said, I can look it up later and maybe write it down for the next stream. So anyway, yeah, what happened with regards to that old-ass Elgato, because I bought that probably back when I was still in college, or maybe just after I graduated, university, rather, for people overseas. Over here, we call it college for like, both, community college and full-on university, for basically all higher education. American English can be a bit funky. We are moving on to, yeah. So, my friend sent me this really nice-looking capture card from MyComSoft that is an internal, capture board, and it had on it a, it had one of those, like, mini DIN plug-looking things, but it was for composite video, and of course, since I have mostly older consoles, I was like, okay, something like that would be really good. Unfortunately, my Elgato only came with one for composite video, component video. Because I'm sure at that time anybody would be like, oh, well, retro shit. You know, that was like just inside of the old retro boom. Well, yes, composite is not particularly great, but on the hardware I have, it's what I have available, and I'm pretty sure that, like, even getting the better stuff for the GameCube is not really a cheap thing, basically. So, composite, fuck me. Why are these words, like, exactly identical almost? Component video is... The cables look like they are RGB. And in some cases they are. However, very often they are something called, like, YPbPr or something. I don't remember the exact acronym, but it's a P, a B with a subscript letter, and a B with another subscript letter. And the first one is BR, and I know that. And that, it turns out, you can shove a composite cable, a composite video cable, into the correct spot, which will often be, but not always, the green position. Or, in fact, maybe it's not always the green position in TV that I have that works on this. It's just weird. If you plug it into the correct one of the 3 ports, it will just do... You can just do composite video out through that. And here we go against Metal Sonic, which is a very involved boss fight. This is not merely the race of Sonic CD. Although there is a bit of that going on. And this is a really good remix of the Metal Sonic tune, which, even though I think, frankly, my favorite is always going to be the original one from the Japanese soundtrack of Sonic CD, because that just has that great energy to it. It's got just enough elements to stick to just that. This is pretty great too. So yeah, this is a very involved boss fight, and we have these little Silver Sonics to deal with. So we want to try and bounce them into Metal Sonic himself, which is not always an easy proposition, because there's a bit of luck involved here. And of course, Metal Sonic is not going to make things easy, just because he's got the freaking laser cannons that he's shooting at us. He's giving us the biz. And yes, I'm going to try and kill the ones that don't give me the good RNG, just to push things along. Thankfully, that phase of the fight is real short, and it is back to running around the big Eggman statue. I think it's an Eggman statue. Yes, that's an Eggman statue. Hey! Oh, ho, ho! He threw him the Time Stone! Oh, shit! Oh, buddy! Alright, so this one... Okay, so I guess we just run away from the advancing wall, and we're gonna have to counterattack in other ways. And yes, we get a mid-boss fight checkpoint, which is completely bizarre. Metal Sonic is in the big boy body this time. Oh, yikes. You may have to just do this. Unfortunately, we lost... I was gonna say we lost our ring, but no, Tails got it back for us. So that didn't go as planned, basically. This is an interesting fight. I do not remember this phase at all. I think the last time I played this, which I played this on PS3, I think I streamed it the day it came out. Flying battery? Maybe a little bit. Oh, is there even more to this? No, there isn't. Nice. Thanks, game. Yeah, there's all kind of stuff going on with that remix. It is so good. It gets... Like I said, this does just so much stuff, and I absolutely adore it. Do we get thrown to the desert level here? No, we get into Hydro City. Oh, ho, ho, oh. Oh, boy. Hydro City, this level... It's like if Labyrinth Zone really started hitting the roids. And Hydro City is it's its own, all right. I absolutely love. I think the Hydro City Act 1 theme is quite possibly my absolute favorite in all of Sonic 3 in terms of music. So it always really cheesed my onions pretty badly that people on the internet and, like, especially YouTube and stuff seem to always be like, oh man, the one from Act 2 is so much better. No, it's not. You just don't know what funk music is, you idiots. Oh god, we're gonna die. Alright, come on, give me a bubble, give me a bubble. Oh, right afterwards! And the music restarted. And of course, Tails steals the last bubble right at the end just to prove what a rat bastard he is. Suddenly, the rumors about the Tails doll from Sonic R wanting to kill people makes a lot more sense. His Tails is just kind of a dick. I do agree with that, though. The Marble Garden Zone music is quite fantastic. I love that first stage. It has that nice sort of, like, bluesy thing to it. It's got the harmonica sounds. That's definitely, like, a very close second. It's tough competition in general, though, because honestly, the Sonic 3 soundtrack is just one of the best on the Genesis in general. It's some of the best uses of the Genesis sound hardware, and my goodness, there's a lot of competition there because you get all kinds of really smart composers putting that Genesis sound hardware to great use after the first couple of years of the console. You know, there's the soundtrack from the Streets of Rage games. Well, soundtracks, really, obviously. There's Vector Man. Vector Man has a really good soundtrack that I feel is a little bit underrated. Vector Man in general is just absolutely fucking fantastic. I love me some Vector Man. Carefully now. Okay, this is a similar concept to the one that we were actually doing well earlier. I don't think this is the same stage. Oh, goodness. Give me something a little bit frustrating there. So yeah, Marble Garden is good. I have an affection for the theme for... Oh, crap. Well, I did try to turn right there, so... That time, you know, that's not for not trying. I did make an attempt, and I must have pressed the button a little too late. Where was I? Ice Cap is pretty good. I do love the sheer, well, Michael Jackson-ness of it. You know, that's a rather famous thing, of course, is the Michael Jackson involvement with Sonic 3. And, you know, how much of that was or was not used, and of course the whole fact that Michael Jackson was undergoing no small amount of scandal at the time. And did that contribute to any of it being cut? And I'm gonna die again from drowning. No, I'm not. Tails, don't. Oh god, we were at 0. Oh, good god. This thing could probably be spaced out a little bit. Ice Cap, I think, is not as good as a lot of people say it is, but there's a lot in the game's soundtrack that kind of falls by the wayside. Just sort of in general, in favor of certain other pieces. Like, I feel like Launch Base is one that doesn't get its due, and I love me some Launch Base. In fact, I just love a lot of the ones that are, like, very funk-oriented in general. But I admit that there's some weak points. Like, I am not a big fan of the Carnival Night Zone music. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of the Carnival Night Zone in general. Okay, here we go. It's boss time. Oh, hey, look. Eggman's in here in his diving suit. Uh-oh. Yep, he's decided to push the start of Act 2 a little forward. And he is collapsing the zone underneath us to try and get Sonic. I've got some bad news, though. I don't need help dying. This, however, this is hilarious. This actually might be my favorite boss fight in the entire game. Do you remember this machine from Hydro City Act 2? And it's usually Robotnik in it. Oh god. This one's a bit of a delicate balancing act because you kind of have to suck in old Demon Santa here without accidentally sucking in his bombs. Because it's not easy to recover your rings if you get hit. But yeah, you get to turn one of his machines against him, and it is one of the funniest things in this game. And this game is honestly full of some hilarious moments. His diving suit exploded. Oh my god. Oh, that's so good. I forgot about that. Oh, he's not going to have a good time, but, you know, hopefully he's pretty buoyant. He's got... I mean, I'm a fat person. You know, a fat assigned male at birth, but I don't have a build like that. My legs are nowhere near that level of spindly, that's for sure. So he's probably got some interesting buoyancy going on there. On the other hand, I've been riding a bike recently. It's been just not freezing my ass off enough for me to go outside and ride a bike. And thankfully, one of the good things about riding a bike is that you can move to the side pretty quickly. Because, of course, there's still the issue of, you know, that whole pandemic thing, and I don't necessarily live in a part of the country or state, for that matter, where people are smart about pandemic safety. Granted, wearing a mask when you're exercising is just kind of a recipe for not having a good time. So I dig it. Like, I wouldn't be expecting people on the street who are walking home or whatever to necessarily be out there with their N95 and whatnot. But on the other hand, I still would like to try to social distance while biking still. Well, that's good. I have managed to avoid going outside other than, you know, bicycle riding basically the whole time. I was kind of sad over the summer because I usually like to go swimming. There's a pool that is open to people who live in the subdivision that I live in, and I like to swim. It's a good way for me to get exercise and relax, and yeah. You know, good time. 210 is a little under 100 kilos, I think, because I believe that kilos convert more correctly to 2.2 pounds each. They kind of always, depending what classes you take, you get taught the rounding little incorrectly, basically. Oh, that was almost a disaster. I am trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go here. And that was definitely not the smart way to do this. I'm pretty sure this run is ruined, but this is definitely, the reflexes involved here are a little more than I can muster on a dime, really. Like, I think you all already know, though, that I'm not exactly skilled at video games, and that's why I play so many RPGs, because most of the time, those aren't really games that require, like, big control talent, and well, thankfully it's over now, Mark. I walked into the incorrect thing. I thought I was one more over. So I think the speed was kind of, fucking my perception anyway, which is worrying, but let's keep going. Anyway, as I was saying before about Hydro City's music, that I do prefer the Act 1 theme, but this is a very good remix of the Act 2. Also, I'm actually, like, really noticing that these drums are a very different color from what they were like in Sonic 3. I never noticed that in my first playthrough, or maybe I did and I forgot, because that first playthrough was back when the game first came out. I have it digitally on one of the PlayStation consoles, I believe PS4. And I have the Sonic statue with the little electronic voice thing in it that goes Sega when you hit the button on it. It's really cool. It's one of the cuter things from a special edition, and I gotta admit that despite the fact that that was $70 for something that contained a digital copy of a game that's $20 normally, I still actually quite enjoy that as a thing. It's one of the nicer special editions, needless to say. I have a small amount of random special editions that are like really just, oh, here's a cardboard box with the game and a soundtrack that's not even a complete fucking soundtrack. I have a couple like that. I have... At least one of them came with an art book, and that's a game that I actually never finished, but I literally bought it because the special edition was like $5 cheaper, I think, at the GameStop that I bought it at over 10 years ago. But otherwise, game special edition-wise, I've already mentioned Sonic Mania. I'm very sad that I could not get, at the time it came out, the Nier Automata one, which I suspect that the figure from that, which is what I actually wanted, is now extremely expensive on eBay, and honestly, buying a figure of a character like 2B off of somebody on eBay, that is a whole minefield. That is, do not approach, do not even consider, perceivant. If you do, make sure you are ready to sterilize it with some sort of radioactive material. So, needless to say, I never went around to getting that one. But, that aside, that was the big one that I missed out on. I also missed out on the Take Your Heart edition of Persona 5, but I got so pissed off at Atlus when they were, you know, being like they were about streams of it, that I ended up being kind of happy for it, because I'd just be like, What am I going to do with this? Am I going to eBay this bag? Burn it? I don't know. And, you know, who wants to deal with that, right? Not I. Crap. So, yeah, that... I do have this Steelbook edition of it, though. I don't really count that as a special edition, though. I mean, a Steelbook, that's... Oh, those are so common that they don't deserve to be called special anymore, you know? I have one for Final Fantasy XII, for the original version of Final Fantasy XII. And that was back in an era when they were special, and I think they were probably actually made of some sort of iron-derived material, because the one that I have is notably rust-pocked. I actually should, like, get it out and take pictures of it. A friend got it for me as a birthday gift many years ago, and that was very kind of him. So, yeah, that said, actual special editions that I have a special edition of Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey, which is an alright game that I never actually finished. I, at some point, kind of stopped being such a big SMT head. I mean, saying that, I admit that I was never super knowledgeable about a lot of the games, but I was very into... And I fucked up. I turned too early. So, you know what? That's a mercy kill. I was always very into, like, a couple of the games, in particular Nocturne and the Persona games, especially 2 and 3. Oh, here comes the boss. So this is going to be one that I don't 100% remember how to operate. Okay, do we just have to, like, hit these bombs into him? Yes. Okay. Ow! My rings! Oh god, this is going to be rough. So, back to what I was saying. I have SMT Strange Journey as a special edition that is basically just a little cardboard box that has a CD with an, I'm assuming, incomplete soundtrack on it. It's quite sad, but it cost about as much as the regular edition when I bought it, so whatever. Oh, you bastard, he didn't take any damage from either of those, I don't think. God, this is gonna... Or is he taking damage when they fly into his propeller? This is going to be brutal, needless to say, though. I also have Persona 2 Innocent Sin as a special edition, which is, again, just a cardboard box that the main game package goes into, and a soundtrack sampler CD. You know, not even the full soundtrack, because, like, fuck you, right? And I pre-ordered that. Because I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. This Innocent Sin is one of those games that I would describe as being semi-legendary in some regards over here in the US and presumably in most other English-speaking territories, because of course it was not released outside of Japan. And Persona became very, very big starting around late into the cycle of Persona 3. I do not own Bravely Second in any edition whatsoever, unfortunately, although I've heard that it's pretty good. I also haven't played Bravely Default, though, so that's another part of it. Bravely Default is another game that I have heard no unkind words about that I can think of offhand. I do enjoy a nice classic RPG, and that has at least some associated vibes, so that is one that I should get around to. I also have, back to special editions, I have Fate Extra, which is slightly nicer in that regard, but very similar to the Persona 2 one. In fact, really, same size box, and again, soundtrack sampler CD. They can't even be asked to give you a full soundtrack CD, which is unfortunate because Fate actually usually has pretty good music. And that has like a partial art book that I got, and it was slightly misshapen. And, oh hey, look, it's the Hydro City Act 1 boss. I'm quite sad that that art book, when I got it, was not in pristine condition, because honestly, you call it a special edition, for fuck's sakes. You should at least, like, make the quality feel there, you know? So I have that, and I do actually quite like that. Wada Arco is a pretty good artist, so, you know, it's nice to have a little bit of that art. Although I kind of think that art books in special editions is a little bit on that meh side. I'm getting a little bit on the talking too much side of things a little here, I guess. So yeah, art books, it's like you can look that stuff up online nowadays. And here we go. Here is our third completely original level for this game, Mirage Saloon, which is based off of the unfinished Sonic CD stage called Desert Dazzle, which there were little bits and pieces of that were apparently originally intended to be in the original, I believe, but also that Christian Whitehead wanted to put in his port of it, Christian Whitehead's port being the rather famous one on Steam and Xbox Live Arcade and literally everything digital. That's totally fine, Mark. You have yourself a nice evening. Get some good rest if you can. I appreciate sometimes that's a big if, but hopefully not too big of an if for tonight, I suppose. So, where was I? Okay, digital art books. They're digital art books. Art books and special editions. Bit of a scam, to be honest with you, because usually you can find that stuff in pretty good, high quality. It's usually been put out there already by the fans on wikis and stuff like that, or you can find it on the artist's Twitter, all kind of places like that nowadays. Although, back in like 2004 or so, it might have been nice. Unfortunately, Fate Extra came out in the 2010s. I lived out here in Plano when I ordered it, and in fact, I think by that time, God, I pre-ordered that at the GameStop in the Fox Valley Mall. That is probably not there anymore because GameStop has been having a not-so-nice time, and also just malls are probably suffering in general right now because LOL pandemic. And also, let me get in this just this way. Yeah, okay. Nice little hook jump. So yeah, that was obtained well past the time when, to me, art books in special editions really made any sense. But I do think it's a pretty alright one. The other nicest special edition that I have, outside of the one for Sonic Mania, which literally does not contain a physical game, is the one for the first Fate Extella game. You can tell that I hit a point where I was really buying into a lot of the Fate shit. Because I think it's an interesting idea. Unfortunately, the execution, ooh lord, is not great. And actually, that said, the limited edition version of the first Fate Extella game, which I have for PS4, even though I don't really like the game very much because I think it is not a particularly amazing Muso game, and it doesn't really do a good job at inviting you into the very, very, very deep, not in the philosophical sense, but in the you will be at this for a small eternity sense war of the Fate series. The special edition of that is quite nice. It has a... It comes with, like, a whole, basically, flag? I mean, surely you're gonna hear something like that and it's supposed to be, like, a wall scroll or something. No, it's a fucking flag. At least in terms of material and everything and overall presentation, despite not being a real flag. I forget what character is on it, but you know, I could pull it out again, and it has like a full set of like some character art cards. They're pretty nice looking, all told, and again, it fits in very nicely with the card aesthetic that they were trying to do for a lot of the servants, and you know, that eventually sort of leaked into how they were summoned in Grand Order. And it has a huge book of Fate lore, like shockingly large. It is, strangely enough, the nicest special edition that I have, other than the Sonic Hedgehog one. It also cost like $70 new, and we ran out of time. I was nowhere near the boss on that one. And by the boss, I mean the guy carrying the emerald. And by the guy carrying the emerald, I mean Dr. Eggman. Eggman. Robotnik. Yeah, so that is like a really good special edition, and it costs almost nothing more than the base game would have, because bizarrely enough, despite the sheer niche that would be in, at least at that point, this... Let me remind you that, again, this is pre-Grand Order, so before Fate went from, like, a known thing to being legitimately one of the biggest Japanese properties ever. Also, this is pretty neat. I love this as a way of getting you back on the plane. You know, for something like that, at the time, for it to be $60 new, it seems a little bit on the over-the-top side, because how many people would be willing to pay for that? And yes, here's a boss that is pretty involved in terms of, like, the overall gimmick here. There's not a lot of times when we can really hit this thing safely. This thing is a real bastard. Yeah, the same series as Fate Stay Night. Like, people knew about it because of its, well, its nature as being a pornographic visual novel with that much plot. But I think that aside from that, it really was niche for it was definitely niche for a very long time, and then it started turning into like a whole big series of all these other games, most of which are actually safe for work, by the way. Although there's some bits in one of the sequels to Fate Extra CCC, that I would be fucking shocked if I'd be allowed to actually put that on Twitch. And they're going to be remaking those games, so if that shows up in America and I can get it for the right price, and Twitch won't kill me if I stream it, I will absolutely, you know, I'll absolutely do it. And I will discuss my complaints and grievances and the fact that I really do love quite a bit of the... Oh, I'm quite expecting the remakes to be very heavily toned down from the original, because yes, they CCC in particular has some reasonably dirty content, as I say. I might be being a little bit over the top by saying that it's necessarily not work safe, but I would certainly advise not looking at it while your boss is near. That's for damn sure. Ouch. I wasn't expecting that. So that will probably be a little bit toned down, which is actually kind of unfortunate, because, like, at risk of sounding like a... At risk of sounding like a huge pervert, I actually really do like that character a lot, too, and not just because, oh, hey, nakedness, but... Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand, like, there's some times when, you know, at least do it market-based. I mentioned Persona 2 earlier. Persona 2 Eternal Punishment, rather infamously, I believe Persona 2 Eternal Punishment is the one where Hitler is the main villain, like literally actually Adolf Hitler. And in the remakes, they gave him sunglasses and like changed his facial hair in order to hide his identity, despite the fact that it's Hitler as a villain. And in some markets, I actually do understand it, because in Germany, you are not allowed to depict Nazi symbols or Adolf Hitler like at all, even in a historical context. One of the YouTubers that I follow is a guy from Germany who does speaks a lot on history, and I think is actually like has like a master's or better in history. And yeah, the guy is really fucking smart, but of course he has to hide all the swastikas and stuff and all the German the Nazi footage, you know, for legal reasons. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting around to, is that I do understand doing it, but you can also like make that a market-based thing, you know? Like there is a very thin amount of time where perfect localization can be as perfect as possible, really, because some things are a little beyond that, where you can give a little bit of leeway to that. Like, if it... I don't think that there's such a law in Japan as there is in Germany as regards, like, you get in legal trouble for showing off Adolf Hitler's face. And, one of the animes that I watched a few years ago, Izetta the Last Witch, also had the Nazis not really be Nazis, but that's a whole other thing. That's kind of like, that series is bad in general. So yeah, sure, make that edit in Germany so that way it can be sold, but why is it like that in Japan? Are you that nervous that people are going to be mad that you have Adolf Hitler as a villain? Frankly, those people fucking die mad about it, you know? Bionic Commando had you punching Nazis in the face with your grappling hook and then shooting them. Okay, it didn't in English because of reasons that, Nintendo are like that. So, yeah, that's... That's put a bit of a damper on things quite suddenly, despite the fact that I was about to be like, yeah, Bionic Commando fucking rules. And, frankly, Bionic Commando does fucking rule, even despite that. That's just Nintendo being a bit on the wussy side during the 80s and into the early 90s. Sometimes when you are... when you try to be the family-friendly company... Also, yes, by the way, there is a very specific route that you can run through this level to do this very easily, and I fucked it completely. But we are going to try and beat this one, because we haven't lost our perfect yet. I swear, you jumped further in this than you did in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Or maybe you just do so much earlier. Either way. Yes, if you would like to play Bionic Commando, there is a version of that available on Steam called Bionic Commando Rearmed. It is quite affordable, and I believe that it is unexpurgated as compared to the NES version, but I could be wrong on that, so don't take my word for it. I admit that, that is not my area of expertise. Oh, did they? Yeah, I remember that there were some modifications made to Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Was it like a bust slider or something that was reduced? Or, you couldn't do as much with that? And that just seems a little bit over the top. Oh, they changed Pyra's clothes too? Oh. Gotcha. There are very few things where that kind of there have been some changes to that, like Phantasy Star Online 2. I learned recently, if you're on the US version, I got completely blindsided by this thing. That actually takes some effort to kill. Phantasy Star Online 2, I do enjoy PSO2, but in English, they made it so the minimum height on the height slider, and this is going to sound really weird, that the minimum height is not as low because they wanted to avoid people making sexualized child characters, because PSO2 is really damn horny. Like, the entire Phantasy Star Online series is, like, really, quite frankly, a little bit shocking in that regard, to the point that, there were some rumors, you know, as there were with any video game that includes a girl character, about being able to see Rico naked in PSO1. And that's almost believable. Yeah, I think that it kind of, is not a perfect way to deal with it, although, again, I do sort of, you know, vaguely get it, because, again, PSO2 is, like, wildly horny. There are a lot of outfits that you can get that are very sexual and, you know, at least by those kind of standards, you know? Not, like, outright pornographic or anything, but for an MMO standard, it's a little bit on the you're not wearing a lot of clothes. I don't really think it's a perfect way to deal with it, but I understand why they would want to. And also, yeah, then again, I'm also saying that very heavily because I am a big fan of FF14, and one word, Lalafels. Woof. Oh boy. People, regarding Lalafels, it's how you say not great. Shit! I was so close. God. I almost had that one. Honestly, it really is just like the fact that there are so many Lalafell fuckers in 14, and it's kind of skeevy to say the least here. I'm a little slow in getting the hit here. So Heavy Magician here turns into the comic book goons that we mentioned before. One of the guys in the FC that I'm in 14 was like saying a bunch of things about wanting to fuck Nanamo, who is one of the story characters. For those of you who are not very 14 aware, there actually are other characters in the story other than M itself, believe it or not. And some of them are actually pretty good. And it was just like, oh man, you are being so creepy about this. And unfortunately, I didn't feel like I could say anything because I don't want to be the one who rocks the boat. And, like, granted, it was not anybody high up in the FC. It was just some other player, but I don't like being the one who starts fights most of the time. So, yeah. Like, it's one of those things where I get it, but I do also think sometimes a lot of censorship type of things are a little bit over the top. And I genuinely understand people who want to play their games as unexpurgated as possible. You know, again, assuming that... Although saying that, a lot of people are, like, not really people who understand the issues when they say stuff like that, so... Although I understand, sometimes hearing it is like, oh, buddy. So yeah, this is Oil Ocean, by the way, and we are setting the oil on fire because they gave us a fire shield. And that does not somehow cause any sort of completely foreseeable consequences. It's just a cosmetic thing. But it does actually look kind of neat. It's some nice forethought. That's just a good thing about this game in general, is the great amount of forethought involved with a lot of stuff like this. You get a lot of these interactions that just look really, really cool. But also, this is absolutely going to be the point where the game is going to start showing some teeth with these bosses. I'll say it right now, I absolutely sucked at the Act 2 boss of Oil Ocean when I played this last. It is a boss you have to be patient about. Damn it! Well, that's not what I was expecting to happen, needless to say. Ah! Fuck! Come on, guys! You're better than this. Or you're worse than it. I don't know. So I expected the bumpers to turn into rings as well, because I was thinking of the area where it's the 5 square and it has the 1 bumper in the center. And that turns into rings. Why didn't they? I guess because of the same principle that the one that's just a 5 ring that's full of bumpers didn't in that level as well. Just because there's a little bit of nuance to the mechanics that I do not have because I don't do a lot of the special stages. It's not a thing that I'm necessarily that great at. But I mean, it's not like we won't have more chances if I remember. Alright, here we go. The boss for this area. This one is... This dude is not too hard, but can be pretty annoying sometimes. I also used to be like good enough at just doing this in one cycle. Like, he wouldn't even get a chance to throw his wrench a second time. But you can see what the issue is here, is that those 4... things on the extreme sides have got spikes on it, and that boss went too fast for that to really matter. And oh shit, the oil has been set on fire. Now this level freaks me out, but it's so cool mechanically. Also, the music is like a really creepy version of this theme that fits so nicely with it. So, you know how in Studiopolis Act 2, they have that thing where you're supposed to pull the chain on the lights in order to keep the ghosts away? This is the same principle, but instead, you're using it to keep the heat smoke out of here. Otherwise, you start to suffocate and lose rings. It's so... It's a really creative thing in terms of, like, recycling the old mechanics. And also, like, very nerve-wracking in a certain way that... Because also, much unlike Studiopolis, this is, like, a real level. Especially by Sonic standards, this is, like, of a reasonable length. Unlike Studiopolis Act 2, where... Honestly, if you can beat that level in 7 minutes or less, well, first of all, fuck you and the horse you rode in on, but second of all, mad props. Let's try this again. Okay, I remember the idea behind this level. This is one where those 4 squares should be perceived as 2 sets of little tube bands. And that will help you get a good idea as to how much of the looping you've done correctly. Alright, so we have to... Alright, so this is going to send us back to the source. I really admire people who can, like, actually remember all this shit very well, because I am so bad at it. Yikes! Okay, good. We are going fast enough that we can jump over the double spots. But only just barely. It is a little bit on the frightening me type of tightness there. And we got it. Oh, nice. There's another gold medal for us. Alright, where are we at in the level? Because this, that double handle landmark is kind of familiar, but I cannot immediately for the life of me tell you, like, how deep of a landmark, how deep into the level that type of landmark is. Shit. Oh, damn it. I like that fire shield. It was like a brother to me. Come back, fire shield. You were good at defending me and being fire. Alright, are we gonna start choking while we're in midair here? Oh, wow, we did not. You'll know when it hits when your ring counter starts flashing, by the way. Damn you, Octopus. Wow, this guy is just the best point man ever. What a champion of guarding that platform. Alright, give me the thing. We are definitely about to start choking. Yeah, there, you see it? You see our ring counter counting down? It goes fast! No bonus stage for us there. Special stage, rather. Alright. So I believe we are now coming up on the boss of the level. Oh yeah, you can go with those submarines, by the way, and some of them have, like, extra stuff in them. There's a lot of exploration to be done in this level, and really in a lot of this game in general. There is a lot of, you know, snooping around and side paths and stuff. There is so much going on. In case I haven't made it abundantly clear, this is, quite frankly, one of my favorite Sonic games. Oh, I goofed this completely. I'm actually just going to... I'm just going to mercy kill that one because I fucked that entirely. That was a shameful display. Alright, so here we go. This boss. The Octopus Submarine. This thing. Oh, there is so much going on here. And this is just not a fight you can take slowly. It's basically just Oil Ocean Act 2 boss, but on so many steroids. Plus, it's also got the... It's got the guns from, I almost said Lava Lagoon. What's that place? Lava Reef. There we go. Lava Lagoon. Fuck, dude. Listen to me. Ooh. Right in the butt. This is a boss you have to take slowly, by the way. This is... Do not try to rush this. If you need to, go for only 1 hit per section. You will thank me later because this boss has got so much going on. I don't know how else to put it other than, wow, this boss is involved. I remember a lot of the very early discussion of this boss, and, well, really, this game in general, being like, this game feels like it's designed to give speedrunners a little bit of grief. And in some regards, I kind of feel like that's definitely true here, because, like, wow, this is, as you can tell by what I've said, not a boss you can go super fast on. Alright, so we got... There we go! Oh, we managed to 2-cycle that. That was actually pretty good. And this time, unlike when I streamed this back on its release, I didn't have to eat, like, 8 game overs on that thing. That's... Oh, that feels good. I mean, my chair is a little uncomfortable, so that doesn't feel good, but... The rest of this? Uh-oh. That submarine is more of an air vehicle. Alright, here we are at Lava Reef. We've got a whole 3 more zones, counting this one. If I recall correctly, it's this, Metallic Madness, and the final original zone, which I forget what it's called, but I remember that it has, like, some of the best music in the game because it's just so chill. Although this is a very excellent remake of a classic from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the theme here. Fuck me. I thought I could get those. Well, that's what I get for thinking, right? Hit it! Come on! There we go. Fire shield. That's what we want. In a stage like this, that sounds pretty legit. Now watch it burn these things down, right? Alright, so we got this thing going on here. I remember these absolutely destroy your sound effects in Sonic 3, by the way. Well, Sonic and Knuckles, rather. I said Sonic 3 and Knuckles earlier, and, you know, that's basically true, as that's an offshoot of Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic. Oh, ow. Fell right in the lava pit. Here comes the spike ball. Oh. Oh. I was worried that I was reacting a little slow there, basically. Top of everything else. Also, I like how the rings actually stick to the top of this jet-powered spike crusher thing. And the sheer amount of these barbed wire fences, or, well, fences topped with the barbed wire, or I suppose technically razor wire, or as I seem to recall it at one point being called barbed tape. Because I think razor wire is technically like a brand name, or was for at some point. I know a lot of weird shit, don't I? Like, every once in a while it'll strike me that for some reason I happened to learn this random thing while wiki surfing one time, and it has stuck with me for no good reason. well, wiki surfing, or I guess, you know, YouTube surfing nowadays. I watched a video a couple of weeks ago. It was a lockpicking lawyer video, and he put liquid gallium on an aluminum lock, and it just basically ate it away. It was so weird, but kind of awesome at the same token. So yeah, that's definitely like the most destructive way of lockpicking, and honestly the least efficient because it's so slow. But it was clearly done as just a for fun thing, and destroying a lock that had already been dealt with. That presumably, since the guy is a collector, he had more than one of. Oh, that happened. So I pressed up after I had touched the blue orb there, and it had turned red, so I guess that it thought that I was stepping onto a red orb again, and kicked me out there. So that was definitely not what I expected. Down we go. Oh, I charged right into that. Oh, man. I am scrubbing it up hardcore. Sooner or later, I'll end up on Scrub Quotes. Scrub Quotes X is what the Twitter is. Which is a, frankly, hilarious account featuring a lot of people are very salty about their questionable performance in fighting games. Although, there are times when they do, I'll read that in just a second. There are some times when Scrub Quotes X is a little bit like, they'll look at things that are blatant memes and just, kind of fail to, respond to them like they're serious, and that can be a little bit annoying. Anyway, we got into the PC after being chucked in Pokemon Crystal. I will pause in a moment, and I will hover over that and get a look at and get a look at the thumbnail and see what's going on there. Okay, so this thing, we want it to wreck up all of these rock chunks in order to be able to actually start hitting it. Because, yeah, you'll see that its armor keeps breaking down. It's a similar principle to that drill thing in Marble Garden, but more involved. Okay, so let me hover over this thumbnail and see if it wants to show me, or I can just pop it open in a new window here. So, let's look at this image. Oh, God, the game... Oh, God, you fucked that game up proper, sir. You've ran into one very, very large glitch there, Mr. Retro Fanatic. Let me restack my chat window, and yes, anybody watching on YouTube, sorry about the little lockups there. So here we are in Lava Reef Act 2, but also with the Quartz Quadrant. God, was that really what it was called? Was Quartz Quadrant? Yeah, because Sonic CD did they did the Donkey Kong thing with the naming. So yeah, I guess they didn't have a good Q word other than Quartz Quadrant. Quartz Quadrant, the conveyor belts and the switches for them is what I meant to say. So, Retro, do you have any idea what caused that glitch? Because we're not even gonna do that special stage. I'm sick of seeing that one, actually. Hey! Wow, rude. Could have been on a regular timer, like a regular trap. Ow! Wasn't expecting that. It didn't do it repeatedly, at least. Well, that's good. Of course, I know that those games can be very glitchy, but I don't recall Gold, Silver, or Crystal really having that level of giving you Glitch City type of shit. I know that there's a Glitch City in Gak. I know that there's a Glitch City in Gold, Silver, and Crystal that is like a not completely finished map, basically. Not the Safari Zone map. That is incomplete and accessible, as far as I know, only through cheat codes. Although for accessing a lot of the glitch content in GSC, you really want cheat codes. Way more than you would in the original games in the first gen. Granted, in the first gen, cheat codes will help you out with a lot of the glitch shit anyway, because, well, quite a few of them are more readily accessed through them. Oh, right, I forgot that this ring was here. Whoops. Well, we're going to try and do this anyway. So, of course, one of the things in red, blue, and green, and yellow, of course, is that there's only certain characters you can have in your name, and those all correspond to hexadecimal values. And that basically determines what you get out of the old man glitch. So if you want to encounter certain things through that, you may have to force your name to contain characters that you cannot insert normally. It is, it's a thing that I wish I knew how to do off the top of my head. I don't remember, like, any patch codes whatsoever for Game Shark or for Codebreaker or anything like that for the first generation. And I believe I mentioned this when I last streamed Red Randomizer, but those are getting very hard to find nowadays. Like, I feel like the last time I tried Google searching that, it was just like, oh, did you mean these secrets that you can access without... No, I want to be able to very specifically go outside of the, you know, outside of what the game engine allows, really. Hey, you don't trick me this time, you flame vomiter. Except on the turnaround, apparently. Right, careful not to hit the Robotnik box. Fuck. Well, I think I was in iframes, so it didn't do anything to me. Oh, catch that one up. Damn it! We tried, but we did not get the one up. Have we still not hit a lamppost here? We have not hit a lamppost in this level. Oof. Herg! Dang it, I keep forgetting about that. Is there anything over there? Well, it might be a little hard to get there now. Okay, it's just springs. I was hoping for something good. Unfortunately, the game refused to deliver. And it popped that thing out just to mess with me. Fuck the one up. apparently fuck being able to travel on these entirely. Yikes. Wow, look at all these rock buddies here. Buddies, yeah, I'm sure they're anybody's friend. And see, that flamethrower doesn't hurl everywhere. It has itself under control, damn it. Really? I got hit by some gravel? It's just like playing Minecraft, dying horribly in a gravel cave-in. That's not a good time. Well, that was not how I was expecting to have to handle that one, so... Play now? Oh, that sound effect feels too smooth. I don't like it. Hello, spiked log of death. Alright, so where do I have to jump on this in order to get the height that I need? Like at the very bottom, I guess. There we go. That's... I hope we're almost at the end of this level. This will be the level where we encounter Heavy Rider as the boss, I think. Oh, I got an achievement for killing that lava plesiosaur. I almost said elasmosaur, but that's a different dinosaur entirely, I think. Similar idea, but more like a shark. Not as much neck. Ah! Yikes! Can you not, like... Go from here. This way? Okay. Never mind, that question was answered quite quickly. Fire shield me. Yeah! Oh, I love a good fire shield. And this game has one of the better ones that I can think of out there. It's better than in Jazz Jackrabbit, where it's just a regular shield that takes 4 hits. It might just be called just a fire. I don't know if that's just a thing that Round the Wheel called it, or if it is actually called a fire shield internally, because that seems a little bit silly to just be a basic shield that takes 4 hits and call it a fire shield. But Jazz Jackrabbit was definitely a strange game. One of the earlier titles that made Epic famous. And Cliff Bleszinski before he just failed at everything over and over again. Alright, so we got... I like how this dude is just on a motobug. Has this whole biker theme going on. I don't really like this boss fight though. This one is one that I am terrible at in terms of like getting the right time to get a hit in. Although we seem to be getting a couple, and we are dealing with things decently with only one ring. All right, so there's the flamethrowers. Yeah, so getting the angles right in order to circumvent the big freaking mace ball is a real tough deal. Yikes! Yikes! You bastard! Oh, you bastard. You super bastard. You Okay, I was about to be super pissed. I thought for a second that we were somehow starting all the way back at the beginning of the act. No, it's just the beginning of the boss fight. Alright, buddy. You just go ahead and keep jumping over. Fuck. That time, there was some actual stuff going on. Incidentally, I do like the fact that Heavy Rider, is that what his name was? Here is making a lot of very Sonic Spinball inspired sound effects. Like that rev up sound is just straight up, that's the spin dash sound from Sonic Spinball. Although less crunchy, because Sonic Spinball had, like, probably the crunchiest sound quality out of the entire Sonic series, and we are getting our asses whooped by this dude. Then again, this whole zone has basically been us getting absolutely ruined compared to the rest of the game so far. We've been doing quite good at this up until now. Alright. Oh, that's 2 good hits. Alright. I hope this dude is only 8 hits. Because otherwise, wow, this fight is, you know, pretty rough. That's 5. Give me back a ring, please. 6, 7. 8, yeah. 8 hits. Get your dumb Motobug out of here. Actually, that's pretty hilarious that it's a motorcycle Motobug. Alright, folks. That was something. That is actually going to, once we watch this cutscene, because, yeah, see, we've got only 2 zones left, but both these are probably going to be pretty long. That's actually going to do it for us tonight, because, yeah, it's rolling up around that time. We will take this on. We will finish this out next week, and possibly check out Encore mode a little bit, goof around in special stages. I don't know. Yeah, see you all later.